Representation. It matters. Hello everyone, Adrian here. So, a couple days ago there was something on Facebook that rather infuriated me, but we'll get back to that in just a minute. Angela Benedict recently uploaded a video about the updated Ancestry DNA results because they have a lot more information in the system now where they can make more accurate predictions and assessments as to your ancestry. So she messaged me and said, hey, have you taken a look at your Ancestry DNA results lately? And I said, no, not really, not in a couple months. So she encouraged me to go on Ancestry DNA and check it out. And what I found was pretty shocking. So this is my new Ancestry DNA results here, as you can see right here in black and white. Are you ready for this? 48% France. That is insanity. I did not expect that to happen. And now this thing is also telling me that I'm 20% Spanish and 19% Native American. So the specific regions that they're including for Native American are Nuevo Leon and South Texas, Chihuahua and Durango, and then they're also including 3% Portugal, 2% Basque, 2% European Jewish, which before I was only 3%, Turkey and the Caucasus, I have 1%, Senegal 1%, Ireland and Scotland 1%, which before I had 3% for that. England, Wales, and Northwestern Europe I have 1%. Native American Andean, so that means in the Andes Mountains and all that, 1%, and Nigeria 1%. But the most shocking thing out of this whole thing was that before, Europe West was such a small percentage for me before, and now they're predicting or assessing here that I am 48% French. Wow! And the reason why I do put some credibility in the adjustments that they've made for the test here is because the Native American in here stayed pretty much the same from my last assessment. It's just that other European regions have been eliminated because they were pretty unsure about where exactly I was focused. So this is really, really interesting. It really is. I guess that explains why I like wine so much. And absinthe. And French opera. Yeah, go figure. So back to the post that infuriated me. This has kind of been shared around my circle of friends on Facebook. It is a post that was made on Instagram, and it strongly proclaimed that Goth is only for white people. So it seems like Facebook has gotten rid of it. Don't know how that happened. I really wanted to read it to you guys to show you the nonsense, but nevertheless I will carry on as usual. So, as a Goth who is Latina, this positively made me blind with rage. This struck really close to home to me because when I was first getting into Goth, I got a lot of heat from members of a whole bunch of Goth communities online. But this more manifested in the form of subtle racism. Things like, your hair should be straight, and you should be paler. What type of Goth do you identify as? That was a really big thing back then, and I don't know why it was such a big thing. It was just so important that you had to identify as a type of Goth. But Mexican? Oh my god, you don't look like it. Please. I have to deal with that shit both from Latinos and white people alike. Why do I have to put up with it from members of a subculture that proclaims to be about individuality, going against the mainstream, and acceptance? It's kind of backwards. When I became interested in alternative modeling and submitting my pictures on these alternative modeling resources, such as Goth websites and Goth magazines, and my submission emails were always shot down with, sorry, this isn't what we're looking for at the moment. This happened over and over and over and over again. No matter how many times I would submit my pictures, they would always come up with a declination email soon thereafter. Even when I tried getting in touch with friends of mine who were acquaintances of the editors of said magazines and everything, I was still turned away. Representation matters. Magazines like Gothic Beauty and online goth communities like Gothic and Amazing feature only one type: those who are of primarily European descent. Blue or green eyes, pale skin, and slender bodies. No goths of color, no goths of mixed race, no goths of different body types. The reason why alternative modeling had appealed to me so much is because it seemed to be free of the constraints that mainstream modeling blatantly had. I see very few makeup companies out there who present and market toward different races. Thankfully, one of my favorites, Black Moon Cosmetics, is one of them. They do represent other races in showing off the beautiful shades of makeup that they have, whether it be eyeshadow or highlighters or lipstick, my definite favorite. They show it on all different types of skin tones and on women of different races. And I think that's fantastic. It's wonderful. Goth fashion brands only feature white, Caucasian, Eurocentric models for their clothing. It only gets worse from there. You see companies like Dolls Kill selling sweatshirts that say goth is white. What other conclusion are we supposed to draw from that statement? Okay, I get it. The goth subculture did start in the late 1970s, early 80s in Europe. So I can understand that that's where it came from, but its influence has spread all over the world across all races. There are people of color in the music scenes from all around the world, including African American and Latino, and they are making music that we absolutely eat up and adore. And then you have this ignorant puta spewing this bullshit online. This is the post that kind of inspired me to go on with discussing this topic. Unfortunately, since I can no longer find the post, I can give you a few examples of what she said. So basically she went into, goth is only for white people, and you don't see a whole bunch of people pretending to be Latina or pretending to be black when they're being goth, and she says something like, I'm not racist, but it's only for whites. You guys are bastardizing my subculture, is what she said. I love that she started off this particular post with, I'm not racist, but... Are you kidding me? Only people who are racist feel the need to say that, as if that is supposed to excuse their behavior or what it is they're about to say.
I'm the least racist person you'll ever meet in your whole life, okay? 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 I'm the least racist person ever.
And one of the worst parts of her ridiculous post here is she proclaims it's her subculture. She equates being white or pasty to being as important as listening to the music of the subculture. First of all, bitch, it's not your subculture. It's our subculture. And I got news for you, bitch. And pendeja, I got some news for you. First of all, racism does not belong in a subculture that proclaims to be about rebellion against the mainstream, individuality, and accepting of outsiders. People of color, people of mixed race, have been outcasts their entire life. Why should they put up with being rejected by a subculture that claims to be about acceptance? That's bullshit. Racism isn't a goth thing. Goth is not about racism. Cut that shit out and get the fuck out of here with that bullshit.
My blood is not pure, my body untrue, and I'd rather be breedless than be like you. Too many people, too many signals, too many egos.